Dragon Age: The Veilguard is the next highly anticipated entry in BioWare's long-running and beloved Dragon Age series. The game seeks to balance the deep, narrative-driven experience fans have come to expect from Dragon Age, with fresh new gameplay mechanics that reflect a more action-oriented combat style. From the forests of Arlathan to the coasts of Antiva, Veilguard returns to Thedas, a rich world where magic, political intrigue, and dark forces collide. Players will control a brand new protagonist named Rook as they navigate a tightly crafted story filled with moral choices, complex characters, and high-stakes combat. Unlike previous Dragon Age titles, Veilguard moves away from the fully open-world structure, instead favoring a mission-based approach that draws inspiration from the Mass Effect series. This shift hopes to deliver a more focused experience with handcrafted environments and fewer repetitive side activities. With a combination of real-time combat, tactical pause, and a revamped character customization system, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is set to push the boundaries of both storytelling and gameplay within the RPG genre. And in this video, we'll cover absolutely everything you need to know about Dragon Age: The Veilguard. BioWare has taken some punches over the last decade. With the disappointing reception to both Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem, BioWare dug deep and started to work on Project Joplin, aka Dragon Age 4. Project Joplin would end up getting cancelled not long after its conception due to not meeting EA's expectations. Those expectations being live service content, which many in the community did not appreciate, to say the least. EA would eventually see the light and scrap the live service project, steering the franchise back to the single-player RPG it's known for. This was then followed by a pandemic and mass layoffs, both of which have hit BioWare and EA very hard. It's been 10 years since the last Dragon Age game, and BioWare's current approach has been non-stop communication in the months leading up to Veilguard's release. With EA's attempts at turning Dragon Age into a live service product and the continuous changes in leadership at BioWare itself, the trust of fans has been shaken. Regardless of circumstances, one thing is abundantly clear. BioWare needs Dragon Age: The Veilguard to be successful. If not, many wonder if this could actually be the end of Dragon Age as a franchise and perhaps BioWare altogether. Fans can expect the game to release on October 31st for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC via Steam, the EA app, and Epic Games Store. Oh, and by the way, yes, the game is Steam Deck verified. The Veilguard will be available to play only on current-gen consoles, but if you're looking to play on PC, recommended requirements include an Intel Core i9 or AMD Ryzen 7, as well as an NVIDIA RTX 2070 or AMD 5700 XT on the GPU side. The minimum requirements are an Intel i5 or AMD Ryzen 3 processor, as well as an NVIDIA GTZ 970/1650 or AMD Radeon R9 for graphics. You'll need 16 GB of RAM, as well as Windows 10 or 11, and at least 100 GB of storage space. The Standard Edition runs $59.99 for PC and $69.99 for consoles. There's also a Deluxe Edition that comes in at $79.99 for PC and $89.99 for consoles. With both editions, you'll get the base game as well as the Blood Dragon cosmetic armor set. The Deluxe Edition, however, adds 6 weapon and 3 armor cosmetic sets for the player, as well as 7 weapon and 7 armor cosmetic sets for your companions. All of these extras are purely for looks, but if you prefer physical collector's editions, BioWare also has you covered there. The Rook's Coffer edition gives you a replica lyrium dagger and glass potion flask, a D12 die featuring Dragon Age dialogue wheel icons, a 52-card deck, a cloth map as well as a quiver for map storage, artwork depicting the companions of the game, and a thank you letter from the devs. This edition will set you back $150, but there's one big caveat here, and that's that it does not include the actual game. So this is purely a bundle for those who want to buy a collection of the physical goodies. There's also the Verantium pack to consider, which includes a notebook, an icon art metal poster, as well as an exclusive steelbook case. This one should be priced around $39.99. But like the Rook's Coffer, the Verantium pack does not include a copy of the game. Now there is an option I found through GameStop that includes both the deluxe version of the game and the Rook's Coffer priced at $220. There's also a game and Verantium pack bundle through Walmart priced at $100. Dragon Age has long been a narrative-rich franchise, and the Veilguard is no different. You play as Rook, a customizable character that gets wrapped up in preventing the end of the world. Unfortunately, your attempts to prevent an apocalypse accidentally release 2 corrupted elven gods, who begin wrecking the world anyway. To fix your mistake, you assemble a group of companions who either join because of their unique skills or by fate's design. Together, you will defy the gods, battle dragons, and heal the world one dead darkspawn at a time. Set in northern Thedas, Veilguard will have you traverse through bustling city streets and hazardous wildlands. Your adventures will take you into the streets of Minrathos, the capital city of the Tevinter Imperium, a nation ruled entirely by mages, to the crypts of Navarra, where a secretive order of necromancers known as the Mortalitasi raise the dead. You'll barter and trade through the colorful streets of Trevoso, where assassins lurk in the shadows. You may even encounter blighted monsters out in the arid, grim landscape of the Anderfels, home of the Grey Wardens of Wysod Fortress. If you're looking for a game overflowing with adventure and stories to tell, Veilguard is the one. In the previous game, Dragon Age Inquisition, players got to enjoy the myriad biomes and cultures of southern Thedas. Dragon Age the Veilguard promises the same, with players now traversing the landscapes and factions of the north. The last time players visited northern Thedas was in Dragon Age 2. There we assumed the role of Hawk the Champion and protected the Freemarcher city of Kirkwall. Players could only explore the city, so it was far from the globe-trotting fantasy adventure that its sequel would eventually deliver. Unlike Inquisition, however, Veilguard does not feature open-world areas for the player to explore. Instead, we're going back to a somewhat linear level design here. Players will now be guided through handcrafted levels in the form of unique missions. Much like Mass Effect, where you choose a mission from a map and play it out, players will choose missions from the Lighthouse, which is your base of operations. From the Lighthouse, you'll use magical mirrors called Alluvians to access the Crossroads, a collection of pathways that allow the player to traverse the world in a short amount of time. While some fans are disappointed about the change to a more linear level design, others are more than excited to see BioWare return to something they've proven to be masters of. The character customization in Veilguard is considered the most advanced of the series. Many are happy about the addition of more body sliders and the number of hair options. Hair has always been a subject of distaste in the past games, but Veilguard breaks that trend to everyone's approval so far. Most is what you would expect from a character creator here in 2024. Hairstyles, hair colors, eye shapes, body shapes, face shapes, tattoos, scars. Some are actually comparing this more to the character creator in something like Dragon's Dogma 2, compared to previous installments in the Dragon Age series. Some are not pleased with some of the stylistic choices, like the foreheads on the Qunari, but the overall reception to the character creator has been mostly positive. Rook is a fully voiced protagonist, and the player will have 4 voice types to choose from. Something new to Dragon Age's character creator is the ability to change the background. This gives you the opportunity to check what your Rook looks like in different lighting. Given the constant pale green glow from Inquisition, this new addition is a welcome one. While character creation helps narrow down the specifics of what your Rook looks like, there are 3 major choices that will greatly define your character and playstyle. First is deciding what race your Rook is going to be. There are 4 to choose from: humans, elves, dwarves, and Qunari. Humans are the most numerous in Thedas and have a reputation of never being happy with what they have. They populate every land in Thedas and always seem to thrive in conflict. Elves can be found in most larger human settlements, with the exception of the Dalish elves who live in the wilderness. City elves are often some of the poorest citizens, and Dalish elves are often regarded as savage wanderers. The history and legacy of elven kind is long, bloody, and mostly missing, having been appropriated or erased by the Tevinter Imperium that has enslaved so many. Dwarves revere their ancestors and follow a strict caste system. While you can find dwarves easily in the sunlight, surface dwarves are not considered true citizens of any dwarven city. Many who live underground have never even seen the sky and often joke about falling up into it if they ever do. Unfortunately, dwarves are not the only residents of the Deep Roads, an ever-expanding and ever-crumbling series of tunnels that stretch across all of Thedas. These roads are also home to the Darkspawn. While humans, elves, and Qunari can live without a blight for a long time, dwarves find Darkspawn to be a constant problem, especially considering they tunnel and delve deeper into the stone for lyrium, the physical essence of magic and primary export of any dwarven city. Speaking of magic, dwarves have a natural immunity to the Fade. Without this connection, dwarves actually can't wield magic, and therefore cannot be mages. Qunari are horned giants that follow a strict doctrine called the Khun. Those who do not follow the Khun are branded a Tal Vashoth or Vashoth, which is most likely what our Rook is. Regardless of distinction, Qunari are often regarded as brutish and violent by many people in Thedas, and as such are treated with caution and sometimes disdain. Unless you're a dwarf, you'll have 3 classes to choose from: warrior, mage, and rogue. Considering dwarves cannot use magic, they'll be limited to just the warrior and rogue classes. Warriors charge headfirst into danger and are capable of sustaining or applying a lot of damage. Use a sword and shield for a more controlled approach, or send enemies flying with a 2-handed weapon. Mages command a plethora of spells that apply damage, buffs, debuffs, and control over the battlefield. Most mages wield a staff to dish out their spells, but Veilguard introduces an enchanted dagger and elemental orb. These allow for a more fast-paced melee style of magic. Rogues, on the other hand, blend into the background, delivering precise and deadly strikes when the opportunity arises. As a rogue, you'll be wielding a bow and dual daggers or swords. One of the many ways to define your Rook is assigning them a faction, which acts as your character's background. There are 6 factions you can choose from at the start of the game. The Antivan Crows, or House of Crows, is an organization of professional spies and assassins. The Grey Wardens, an ancient order sworn to fight against Darkspawn and safeguard the world from blights. The Lords of Fortune, a coalition of explorers, hunters, and treasure seekers who seek out daring adventures and new discoveries for riches and glory. The Mournwatch, an elite order of necromancers that watch over the grand necropolis of Navarra, where spirits and undead roam freely. The Shadow Dragons, a rebellious faction within the Tevinter Imperium dedicated to bringing corrupted officials to justice and ending slavery. And last but not least, the Veil Jumpers, a group of explorers who seek out ancient elven ruins within the Arlathan Forest. There, they seek to discover and learn from mysteries of the past. Once you've finished creating your main character for Veilguard, you'll be asked to recap some events from Inquisition. You'll get to choose the race and class of the Inquisitor from the previous game, customize the Inquisitor's appearance, and make 3 critical decisions that will affect the narrative of Veilguard. Number 1, whether or not the Inquisitor romanced one of their companions. Number 2, whether or not the Inquisitor disbanded the Inquisition. And number 3, whether or not the Inquisitor vowed to save or kill the Dreadwolf. While BioWare is great at creating stories and designing beautiful settings, what really shines in any Dragon Age or Mass Effect game are the companions by your side. With these companions, you'll face whatever the world throws at you. Just like any friendship, if you put some time and effort into a companion, they'll reward you by being more effective in battle. And you may even romance these characters if you put in some effort beyond the battlefield. The Veilguard you're leading consists of 7 companions who have their own ambitions, playstyles, and unique personalities. First, we have Davrin, a Dalish elf who grew to be a Grey Warden. When he's not fighting Darkspawn, he's making a name for himself as a monster hunter and taking care of a young griffin named Asan. Wielding a sword and shield, Davrin unleashes mighty attacks and can call upon Asan to assist him in battle. Tosh is a Kunari warrior raised in Ravane. She seeks adventure at every turn, can be very straightforward, and loves to hunt dragons. Her adventures for glory and fortune have provided her many friends in high and low places. Dual-wielding axes, Tosh prefers to get close and personal with any who dare cross paths with such a ferocious, fire-breathing Kunari. Lace Harding is a familiar face, having been introduced in Dragon Age Inquisition. Raised in the fields of Ferelden, this scout with a big heart is very far from home. Lace is a dwarf that provides a positive outlook, a steady aim, and a mystery in the form of new magical abilities. Skilled with the bow, Lace is capable of dealing out damage from afar. She can stagger enemies and shred through armor, making her a perfect companion to anyone wanting to deal a lot of damage. Master Assassin, aka the Demon of Arantium, is poised, pragmatic, and a decent cook. Lucanus is a deadly rogue that specializes in the killing of mages. He refers to the Antivan Crows as a family business and is considered one of the best among them. Quick and deadly, Lucanus wields dual daggers and dishes out necrotic damage with each slice and stab. The assassin also has a potion or 2 in hand to buff allies and debuff enemies. Not every rogue in the Veilguard is shrouded in mystery. Balara is plucky, creative, and determined to discover the secrets of an ancient elven empire. Although technically a mage, Balara uses a special gauntlet that can be turned into a bow. In combat, Balara uses the Fade to control the battlefield, slowing down enemies and diminishing their powers. While most associate dark and malicious souls with necromancy, Imric is far from such a stereotype. He has a deep sense of purpose when it comes to protecting innocents from the occult and the malpractice of spirit-based magic. He is well-skilled, experienced, wise, and has a skeletal assistant named Manfred. As a powerful necromancer, Imric uses the spirits of the dead to control the battlefield and heal companions. Last but not least is Nev Gallus, a private investigator and freedom fighter from the rebel group known as the Shadow Dragons. While her cynical disposition can be as cold as the ice magic she wields, her keen eye has earned her a glowing reputation as a detective. Utilizing her skills as an ice mage, Nev can slow down enemies and even freeze them to a halt. Of all the big changes for Veilguard, gameplay has seen the most change, drawing both positive and negative reaction from fans. The bird's eye view tactical map favored by fans of Origins and Inquisition has been replaced by a tactical menu. The number of companions you can bring on your adventure has been reduced from 3 to 2, again more similar to Mass Effect. You can no longer take direct control of your companions, which puts the pressure on you to remain alive at all times, again like Mass Effect. Are you starting to notice a trend yet? When it comes to combat itself, Veilguard fully abandons the calculative strategic gameplay of Origins in favor of high-octane, fast-paced action. The game introduces an indicator over the player's head that changes color depending on how heavy the attack is going to land. This resembles something more like the combat of Ghost of Tsushima or even Hogwarts Legacy. That said, some strategy wedges itself into the gameplay through the use of the tactical menu, but as of now, we still have to wait and see how this is actually going to be applied and how useful it is. especially consider the varying levels of difficulty. Veilguard will ship with 6 difficulty settings to choose from. The first 5 are Storyteller, Keeper, Adventurer, Underdog, and Nightmare. Each manipulates the game's incoming damage, enemy aggression, tactical challenge, and defend timing. The last level is called Unbound, and it's a fully customizable difficulty setting. This will allow the player to tailor almost everything to their own difficulty. This includes options for parry timing, aim assist, aim snap, enemy aggression, damage, health, resistance, and vulnerabilities. A player here can even turn off death entirely for both themselves and companions. There are also plenty of accessibility options, which will allow all players to have an enjoyable experience. This includes both sound and color aids. BioWare has made it a point to allow anyone to enjoy their game, and it definitely shows with the level of customization here. Dragon Age the Veilguard has a simple gameplay cycle. It all revolves around the Lighthouse, your base of operations. Similar to Skyhold in Inquisition or the Normandy in Mass Effect, you'll choose a mission to go on, complete said mission, collect resources along the way, and then return to make upgrades with what you've collected. Gaining experience levels up your character, which is visualized through a Constellation skill tree. This focuses on 3 specializations. These are unlocked at level 20 and are unique to your class. Warriors have the Champion, Reaper, and Slayer specializations. Mages will have Deathcaller, Evoker, and Spellblade. And lastly, Rogues have Duelist, Saboteur, and Veil Ranger. Each specialization comes with its own unique abilities and ultimates. Ultimates being highly powered abilities you can unleash during gameplay. Your companions will have their own unique skill trees, and while some share similar abilities, there are also abilities and passives that are unique to them. As you traverse status and gather loot, you'll eventually want to upgrade and enchant your weapons and gear. You do this through the Caretaker, a mysterious spirit that arrives to help those in need. To upgrade your gear more, you'll need to upgrade the Caretaker's workshop itself. You do this by finding Caretaker mementos scattered throughout your missions. Your companions' weapons and gear can be upgraded in the same way. Dragon Age is a franchise built with replayability in mind. While it probably won't match Baldur's Gate 3's permutations and branching narrative, Dragon Age is still a world that will react to your race, class, background, the decisions you've made in past games, and of course the choices you make in the current one. While it's a little early to tell, it wouldn't be a Dragon Age game without a decent level of replayability. Fans have been starving for more Dragon Age content, and the Veilguard is ready to serve. It has in fact gone gold, and the release date is right around the corner. Will it be the greatest thing to hit the RPG market? Are fans of the franchise going to be satisfied and relieved? So far, everything seems to be positive, despite the changes and concerns. Now we'll just have to wait and see. If you'd like to see more Dragon Age content from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're already looking ahead to the biggest releases for next year, one I'm particularly excited for is Ghost of Yotek. I have a full breakdown of the recent trailer in the video over on the right side of your screen now, so check that one out next. Special thanks to Support Crow, aka the Dragon Age superfan, who assisted with the writing and research for this video. Big thank you to all of our channel members, especially our Tier 3 Phoenix members, Nerdy Dude, The Flash, Martin, and Dylan. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.